See him a beast when you hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when you hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like yeah, me, I'm a G right here.
Fighting like at Cage Fury 123, September 1st, the man himself out of Team Taino, Parker Kropman. Parker, dude, how you doing, man? Good to talk to you.
Feeling good, ready to go. Excited to get back in there. Quick turnaround. I know a lot of people complain about quick turnarounds, but I think if you're healthy, they're the best. I mean, I got in and out of there in the first round and the last one, so didn't take any damage. I'm just going to try to keep them rolling as long as I'm healthy.
And I wanted to know about the turnaround because, yes, quick, you were at CFFC 121. This is now 123. It's only 2 cards later, but you're young. That was your debut. So is the quick turnaround because you'd like to stay active, or are you trying to like build up your amateur record so you can really get your career going?
A little bit of both. I mean, I really want to hammer the amateur circuit until I feel like I'm really, really comfortable in all areas, right? Obviously, people don't like to say what they're not good at, but
Sure.
to be completely honest, like my striking, not that it's not good, like the fundamentals I think are there. I have obviously some small things I need to work on, but I want to get more comfortable, getting in there and just throwing down in the pocket and slipping and dipping and just seeing everything coming my way. I need to work on that a little bit more, but that's really why I want to just kick out these amateur fights because there's nothing like experience. I mean, competing is completely different than training, and as much as we try to mimic it in our sparring and everything else, it's impossible to mimic an actual fight with the lights, with the cage, with the crowd. It's completely different. So yeah, I want to get a lot of experience and as many fights as I can get while I'm healthy. I'm going to get them because you never know when you're going to get injured. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's not like you can't strike, like you said. You've just grappled your whole life, and you haven't been striking your whole life. So you're learning, exactly. And you're learning quick with the coaches and the team you have, man. It's killer squad. Before we actually talk about you, you're sharing the card with 2 of your teammates, Taylor Samarco, Cameron Scalio. So you excited to share that card because originally you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to be on the night after them.
Yeah, I would much rather compete with my teammates. You know what I mean? We're making weight on the same day, so we have the same, descent timeline. It would be a little weird, they just made weight. They're grubbing out at the restaurant, all shooting the shit, happy. And then I'm like, damn, I still got to make weight tomorrow. So I'm happy that I'll be able to go out, get that, post-weigh-in team dinner. There's nothing better. That first sip of water, first sip of electrolytes after weigh-in, it's like the best feeling in the world. So I'm excited I get to do the weight cut with them on the same timeline and also just to get that momentum going. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be before them on the card. So it's just extra motivation to go in there and really, light a fire under Taylor and Cam's ass to go out there and really get after it. So I want to go out there and set the pace, set the tone for the night. And so we can get that momentum rolling.
Is Taylor bringing that belt home to Team Taino?
Oh, hell yeah. Taylor is an animal. She's been, I coach a middle school and high school wrestling club in Fort Washington, Rivers Wrestling Club. Got literally some of the best wrestlers in the world. We had one of our guys, Joe Bachman, just got a bronze medal at the Cadet World Championships. Absolute hammers. He's ranked second in the country in high school. And there's a bunch of other guys. His younger brother is a monster. And you got kids, Matt O'Neill, that come in. He's top 5 in the country. So Taylor's been getting in the fire with them. And they're young, but these kids are like college level wrestlers. So her wrestling is growing through the roof with that training. And then she's always had the hands. I mean, she can scrap. She's not afraid to throw herself in the fire, that's for sure.
And before we get into this fight, you're coming off a big win, your debut round 1 submission over Cayman Warmouth. How did that feel, man? You don't really need to walk me through it because I watched it. Everyone watched it. It was real quick, very dominant. But how did that feel to finally make that walk, make that debut, and come out with the win?
It felt awesome. It's not like too crazy because obviously I've competed my whole life and I've wrestled in front of crowds, but it is different. I will say the adrenaline is a different level than wrestling. I think because you're going in there and you're like, I wasn't nervous in the back, like warming up. I felt good. I was excited. Wasn't nervous walking out. It was when I was looking across from him in the cage and I'm just thinking, what like if this dude knocks me out, like I'm never gonna. And it just those thoughts just go through your head. What if I slip and he catches me with a big right hand? What if I get hit with an up kick like I did and it puts me to sleep? You know what I mean? Anything can happen. So I'm just thinking about all these scenarios right before, and then all of a sudden the ref looks at you, are you ready? And you're just like, all right, erase those thoughts, and you just kind of go blank and just let your body take over.
And how did the fight meet your expectations? Like how did it compare to what you thought it was going to be? Anything unexpected?
No, I thought that's exactly how it was going to go. And that fight is a perfect example of why I want to hammer the amateur circuit and get a lot of amateur fights before I go pro. Because nobody in training is throwing up kicks because it's just not something you do in sparring because it's really dangerous. And most high level fighters, they're going to try to get up. They're not going to accept to be on their back. They're going to try to work to the cage, work up the cage, and get back to their feet. Where he kind of accepted that bottom position, started throwing those up kicks. So I was like, I never had anyone throw up kicks at me before. Never. That was the first time, never in training. So it's like that experience is valuable because I'm like, all right, now next time I know exactly what I'm going to do if they throw up kicks. So as soon as the fight was over, like I was happy that I won, but immediately I went to Eddie and Cam and Andre, and I was like, all right, he was throwing the up kicks. What do I do there? Like, let's work on that right now. They were like, yo, chill. You got the fight. Like, we'll work on it when we get home. But I just wanted to fix that problem because as much as I want to win and lose, I want to be perfect. That's my end goal, is to have people be like, damn, like every second of that fight, he's just dominating every single position in exchange. Like something you see like a guy like Volkanovski do. That's my dream, is to get to that level of like systematic fighting, you know?
Yeah. And I know that you were on 124, your opponent dropped out, you just told me, but do you have a new opponent?
Yeah, I have a new opponent. His name is Brandon Slade. I don't know if it's Brandon or Brendan. I think it's Brandon Slade.
Well, I'll
He's
find
3-1. I watched some of his fights. Dude's a scrapper. He's got good kicks, good striking. He's got good wrestling. I've seen him wrestle in 2 of the fights that I watch, and it's definitely a step up for sure. So I'm excited. You know, keep climbing that ladder of opponents, and hopefully maybe I run into some adversity and I see what I'm made of.
Yeah, so you actually don't want a first round, club and sub. You want to go into some deep waters a little bit and get some adversity,
at
like
some
you said.
point, whether it's this fight or another one, I need that before I go pro. I don't want my first pro fight to be the fight where I'm bleeding and all messed up and dazed and confused and I got to scrap, because that's not the first time you want to feel that. You want to know that I've been here before, I'm comfortable, and I can keep fighting through it. My literally my favorite quote, I have it written on my name tag at work. I got it written on my whiteboard. I got it written in my room. It's just be comfortable being uncomfortable. And to do that, you have to be uncomfortable a lot. So, it's a different form of uncomfortability that I haven't felt yet. So I do want one of those brawls and wars someday, and the fans like it. So
yeah, we do. But I like you, but the wars are fun too.
Yep.
And do you have any sort of prediction? I know this is a short notice opponent, but I know your style. So how do you envision this fight going down?
I think I'm going to come out, definitely going to be on the feet a little longer in the beginning. I want to see if I can, you know, time some of the things that we've been watching and strike into my wrestling. I threw 2 strikes to start the last fight and then faked and went low. But I would like to mix it up on the feet a little bit more and see if I can do some damage there and then go into the wrestling afterwards. But at the end of the day, like I said, I just want to be perfect. I want to make sure that I try to stay safe and I try to hit him and not get hit. I want to be known for not only dominating, but just like, this dude never takes damage. Like, he's never bleeding. Like, I do want one more eventually, but at the same time, like, it would be nice to have a career like Khabib's where you never even bleed one time.
It's 2:30. Do you still got like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Then, ladies and gentlemen, the scheduling's on my fault today. One of my chickens got loose. Had to go chase it on the road. So, Parker, thanks for hanging through that nonsense. And
yeah, shit happens. Shit happens.
Them chickens, bro. They gotta cross the road, I guess.
Yep.
And you mentioned your Team Taino, Eddie Torres, Petrosky, Cam Scalio, Taylor Samarco. I know you train, you wrestle at Drexel with CJ Lafragola. You know, very, very, or I guess a lot of killer gyms, a lot of very talented people you work with. How has camp been? Any other names I left out? Like, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been super busy with coaching this camp. So I've mostly been training at Taino for my training, but I count this kind of as just one big camp. The last camp and this camp, I feel like they kind of just flowed together.
You're
And I
always
never
training.
got out. Yeah, I never got out of shape. So for the first fight, that was my first time competing in like a year and a half about. So I did have to get back into that like competition shape, but I
Mhm.
made sure after this last fight I didn't lose that. So I didn't have to regain the cardio. It was more about sharpening the technique and just keeping the cardio. But yeah, I mean, had a lot of great rounds at Marquez. I mean, everybody knows, dude, that is the dog pound. You go
Yeah.
in there and you better be ready to scrap. You're driving to Marquez, you got butterflies in your stomach because you're like, damn, I'm gonna have to go through some adversity today. And that's what I was talking about. Like, you almost don't want to go spar there because you know, like, dude, everyone is a tough round, and you're just gonna
Killers.
have to dig deep when you go into that room. But yeah, and then web fitness and MMA, you know, bunch of killers there too. Mostly doing jujitsu when I do go there, but every jujitsu round is great. It's just the training in this trifecta of gyms with Webb's, Marquez, and Eddie's. It doesn't get any better. It really doesn't, because you have every style, every type of coaching. You know what I mean? And it's a great synergistic effect when you combine those three gyms.
Who are you working with at Marquez? Like who's from that gym? Just because, yeah, that's a tough gym, and I'm just trying to think who's your size from there.
Nacruz, uh, you got Gunnar Spain, Cam, um, so many dudes.
Dude,
Taylor
Nacru-
Pierce. I remember one round with him. It was my last round of sparring on Big Glove Day. He hit me with a liver shot, and I'm not kidding. I couldn't pick my hands up for the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds. He landed like in the first 15 seconds. And
oh,
I said after the round, I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I was already just a human punching bag for that round. He's like, nah, it's okay. You don't have to apologize for getting your ass whooped. I was like, all right, cool.
dude, Nacruz Mihojayev, man.
Dude,
He,
but the list goes on and on. I mean,
oh
there's
yeah,
so many guys I'm leaving out, but it's yeah.
it's a good gym, great gym, and
Yeah.
like you said, that trifecta right there is it's that new wave of Philly MMA, man. It's absolutely
Yeah.
killer. And then before I get you out of here, let me just know about the future because you like to stay busy. You're still an amateur. You want to go pro. So, what does the rest of your 2023 look like? What are you thinking for 2024?
So after this fight, I do want to take a little bit of a break, not from training. I want to pick up
Sure.
the training actually and really just dive in. But I want to get a lot more sparring in. And I haven't been able to do that because of the back-to-back fights because I don't want to get injured. So you know you can't do hard sparring as much.
Yeah.
So I do want to take a little break so I can hit like 2 or 3 months of just like sparring twice a week and just like I said, get more comfortable getting in those uncomfortable situations. But after that, once again, like to get another fight, and then I'll reassess if okay, I'm where I need to be to take a fourth fight, or maybe I need to do that again, take another 2 or 3 months before I get into another camp to continue to sharpen up. So I think at least every 4 months I want to fight, but my goal is 6 to 8 amateur fights over the next 2 years, and then go pro after that.
Hey, man, it's gonna fly by because it's
Yep.
already second fight time. So, damn. But before we get out of here, man, just want to give you the opportunity. A lot of fans, a lot of support, Team Taino, Webb, and Marquez, and all the Philly, New Jersey area, myself included. That being said, anything you would like to say to everybody? If so, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I just obviously I want to say thank you to all of my coaches and training partners, all of my sponsors. I'll be posting them on social media all fight week, you know, blasting them for the support. I mean, just being supported, you know, and truly feeling like everybody around you believes in you. That's like what motivates me to get in the gym and train, you know, not just me wanting to win for myself, but I'm like, man, people are really pouring into me. So if I let them down, I'm really going to be upset, for not, you don't want to go in there being like, I have to win for everybody else. But at the same time, it is there. You're like, I cannot let these people down. So it's extra pressure, but it's also extra motivation. So it works both ways. But yeah, I mean, everybody, you guys know how grateful I am for everybody, and I'll continue to shout them out on social media over the next week. And I'm excited, ready to go, and excited to see everybody after the fight because it's local this time, so have a lot of people there.
Yes, sir. I will be there second row with the wife with the Team Taino shirts on because you're the first of 3. Team Taino's got a big night, September 1st, yep. CFFC 123. And Parker Kropman gets him started off. Parker, my man, thank you so much, brother. Kick ass, and I guess I'll be buying you a beer after that big win, yeah?
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.